Hello everyone. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's live session, we are going to learn one of the most important concepts of Terraform. How to deploy Azure resources step by step using Terraform. So, if you are preparing for DevOps, Azure Cloud, Azure DevOps, Terraform interviews, or you want to automate cloud infrastructure, then this session is, very useful for you. So today I'll explain everything in a very simple language. Okay, that Terraform blocks, provider block, resource group, virtual network, subnet, public IP, NIC, all the full explanation and real time use cases. Okay, if you have not watched the previous video, please watch that so that you can able to get some more ideas. Okay, so Terraform block I already explained you. Again, I'll try to get you into that. Okay, so first let's talk about the Terraform block. And this is the main block which tells Terraform what version to use and which cloud provider you want to work with. Okay, so yeah, here is the code. You can see. Let me also open that VS code. Let me create today's date folder 05/12/2025. If I want to open VS Code, then I have to write code space dot in CMD, and I can open my VS Code directly in that particular directory. Okay. Now I have my file here. Okay. Yeah. So this is the Terraform block. Okay. Here is the full code of Terraform block. So I'll explain you. So the Terraform. Okay. The Terraform block from here to here is a meta block. Okay, meaning it defines Terraform settings. Okay, it defines Terraform settings. Required version here equal to greater equal to 1.0.0. Terraform will run only if your Terraform version is 1.0.0 or above. Okay, the next one is the required provider. This is also a block starting from line number 4 and ending with line number 8. Okay, so here required provider tells Terraform which provider plugin to download. Okay, and source, you can see here source equal to HashiCorp Azure RM. So we are using the official Azure provider. Version, you can see here greater equal to 2.0. So Terraform must use Azure RM provider version 2.0 or above. So why this block is important? Because without this, Terraform does not know which cloud platform to connect to, what features to enable, what version to download. Okay, this is the thing. Now come to the second block, that is provider block. Okay, so this is the Azure provider block, and we have the code from line number. This block is come, yeah, from line number 12 to 15. Okay, so this is the provider Azure RM, the line number 12. Okay, this means we want to use Azure cloud. Okay, we want to use Azure cloud. Features, this line number 13, this is the feature block. This is the also a separate block inside provider block, and this block is mandatory. Even if empty, you must include it. Okay, Azure RM will not work without this block, so you have to be careful while you doing code and all. So if you are not including it, means you are getting with some error. Okay, so provider block, provider block means cloud login plus cloud compatibility layer we have here. Okay, so Terraform uses this block to authenticate to Azure. Okay, connect to subscription through your subscription ID. Okay, create resources, modify or delete infrastructure. Okay, so here is the use of this block. If anyone asks you, you can explain. Okay, yeah. Now creating a resource group. Let me delete this. I already explained you yesterday. Yeah. Okay. Now let's create our first Azure resource. Okay, the resource group. So I have code here. You can see. Okay. Let me rename this code as my RG dash one. Okay, and this is RGS. Okay. Yeah. So resource, here you can see resource. This tells Terraform to create an Azure resource. Okay, wherever you have you are seeing this, okay, means this is a resource block. Okay, we can identify, and we can also able to know that this is to create an Azure resource. The next is the Azure RM underscore resource underscore group. Okay, this is the resource type, and I already explained you that this is a unique name given by the HashiCorp. Okay, in their official website. For each resources, they have their unique name. Okay, this RGS1. Okay, this is the local name, and we can reference it anywhere else in this configuration code wherever we use in future. Okay, name equal to my rg-1. This is the actual name in Azure. Okay, once we will create the resource group, then we can see in Azure portal, and this name will reflect in Azure portal for the resource group. Okay, location is East US, and this is the Azure region we have. So real life use case. Okay, real life use case. So resource group help us, to organize resources, apply RBAC. Okay, role based access control, manage billing, delete everything at once. Okay, I already told you that resource group act as a container, we can say, where we have all the resources inside that. We can say that it is a kind of folder also, and we have every resources inside that folder. So if you are deleting the resource group, means you are deleting everything at once. Okay, now we will create an Azure virtual network. Okay, we will create Azure virtual network. So let me create first this resource group. I'll run the code in terminal. Okay, Terraform init. Terraform plan. Let me copy this code. Yeah, let me copy the use cases of this every block. Okay. Okay. Why Terraform block is important? Okay. Then we have Terraform uses provider block to authenticate. Yeah. Okay. And let me copy the resource group. Organize resources and apply RBAC. Manage billing. Then we have delete everything at once. Now come to that virtual network. Okay, we will create an Azure virtual network. Let me run Terraform apply auto dash approve. Then once it is creating, let me log in through my Azure portal. Yeah, now it is not created till now. Already yeah, now it is in process. Okay. Uh, Meanwhile, let me take the code of virtual network. Okay. Yeah, I taken the code of virtual network, and let me do the implicit dependency. I need to correct it. I already explained you that if we need this block, okay, so we can use this name. This is the block name. So I'm going to use here RGS1, and again here RGS1. Okay, this is the implicit dependency. If you have not gone through the previous video, you will not understand this, why we are using this here. Okay, you have to watch the video implicit explicit dependency. Okay, now come to this code. So name my vnet 1. This is the vnet name. Okay, this is the address space 10.0.0.0/16. Okay, and we are reserving a big network range from this. Okay, I'll explain you later how we are using address space, and what is how why we are giving /16, where we are using 24/24 and all. Okay, I'll get into that. Now location, this is the location, and resource group name are taken from here. Okay, so why vnet is needed? So just like a physical office network, a vnet controls communication between virtual machines, between databases, between subnets to the internet. Okay, so now let me take a code for so for subnet. So inside the vnet, we need a smaller segment called subnet. Okay, so let me take the code for subnet. Yeah, here also I if I need resource group name, so I have to provide the resource group block name here. So it is RGS1. So this is virtual network name. Already have my vnet. You can see here same. So the same name I have given here. Okay, address prefix I have given here /24. Okay, 10.0.2.0/24. So a subnet is a smaller network inside the VNet. Whatever the virtual network it is going to create, okay, inside that we have a number of subnet. Okay, for like if you want to create a front end subnet, backend subnet, and if you want to create a different subnet for database, like that we can segregate inside the virtual network with subnet. Okay, so IP range 10.0.2.0/24 gives 256 IPs, okay, inside the subnet. How we are calculating it, I'll let you know, okay, later in detail when we are studying this network part. Okay, so why subnet? For network segmentation, better traffic control, better security. Okay, so this is the thing. Now create a public IP address. So let me take a code for the public IP address. Yeah. So our virtual machine needs a public IP to connect from the internet. Okay. So our virtual machine means our virtual machines having NIC, and that NIC needs that public IP to connect from the internet. Okay. So I already taken the code here. Now you can see the name, my public IP, resource group. Yeah, I need to change this name here. RGS1 again. RGS1. Okay. So allocation method I have kept here static. So IP never changes. So this is important for server. So it should be static. Okay. So let me explain you the use cases of this. So why we need that public IP? For SSH access to virtual machines, RDP access to Windows virtual machines, public load balancers, API hosting. For that, we need public IP. Okay. Now we are connect everything together using a NIC. So let me take a code for NIC. Yeah, name you can see here. Let me change RGS1. RGS1. Okay. So inside IP configuration, you can see subnet ID we have to give. Okay. Then we have to give private IP address allocation, that is dynamic. You can see here. So VM gets private IP automatically with this public IP address ID. So attach the public IP created earlier. Whatever the public IP created here, from this line it will get that ID. Okay. So I already explained you that in attribute that uh, let me show you Terraform registry. Yeah, public IP Terraform Azure. So if I'll see that the code of public IP, you can see the argument reference here, and what are the things is required. You can see name, resource group name, location, and all. At last, if we will go here, you can see attribute reference. We can get attribute reference for each resources in official website of Terraform, that is HashiCorp one here, and we can see here that whatever the argument we are providing here, the above, the following attribute are exported, that is ID, IP address. Okay, so we can take IP address ID, and we are taking this ID from here only, this attribute. So for fetching this ID, we need this resource type, then we need that particular block. If you can see for subnet id, my block is my subnet. Okay, and dot id means it will fetch the id from above, and it takes here. It will get used in line number 58 in nic block. Okay, same for public ip. Okay, we need to give resource type here, then we need to provide the block name, then we need to give id, so that public ip address it will take from the above public ip block. Okay, this resource block. You can see guys that every resource block having this notation, that is resource, 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 means from this block we can tell that we are going to create some resources in Azure website, Azure portal. Okay, so now come to nic block. So why nic is important here? nic is the network card of the VM virtual machines. Okay, so it decides IP, connect to network, allows inbound and outbound traffic, link virtual machines to public IP. So it is the work of nic. Okay, now the architecture we just created, created the configuration file here. Let me apply. First I'll do Terraform plan, then Terraform apply auto dash approve. Yeah, let me take the code of virtual network. So if I'll talk about the virtual networks, I already explained you. Okay, let me see. Yeah, 4 added. Okay, let me show you guys in Azure portal. Yeah, my RG1, inside this we have NIC, we have virtual network, we have NIC. Okay, and let me go inside virtual network so that we can see our subnet. And in left hand side we have that so many options here. So you can see here the subnet. So if we click on subnet, you can see my subnet 1. Okay, whatever the we have given as address prefix, we can see here. Okay, let me copy the code of subnet and I'll paste it here. Then public IP code, then network interface card, NIC. Yeah, now why we need subnet? Okay, so you can revise at once. Then public IP, then we have NIC. So you have to remember, guys, okay, what is need and what is the important for, okay. So whenever interview will ask you, you can able to tell that time. Okay, so this is the structure, I can say. Inside resource group, we have virtual network, we have public IP, we have network interface, and inside virtual network, we have subnet. Okay, so this is the foundation for virtual machine, app gateway, load balancer, firewall, AKS clusters. Okay, so these are the you guys need to know. You need to do the labs and all so that everything you can get it in very clear way. Okay, so that's it for today's live session, and we learned today Terraform block, provider block, resource group, VNet means virtual network, subnet, public IP, NIC, okay, and the architecture. Okay, so thank you for joining, and see you in the next live session. Okay, guys.